Okay, so once you have your pumpkin as long, or your rectangle as long as you want it to be, which if you're not sure, just fold it up and that's how wide your pumpkin's going to be. Okay. You're going to sew it. So I've finished my last stitch of my last row. I am going to hold my yarn across the entire top of my pumpkin and then like double it back a little bit. So I have a nice long piece of yarn for my tail. I'm going to use that to sew it in. And then, actually I'm going to do that twice. So I have a really long tail. I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to take this loop, that was my last loop that I worked, and I'm going to pull all that tail through. Okay, so now it is, that's called tying it off. You just pull through your last loop. You're going to thread your yarn on your needle, which I have needles that you guys can all borrow. You're going to fold your pumpkin in on itself, like roll it up basically, and get the fuzz off of it. And then you're going to go back and forth. So I use what's called a mattress stitch. You can also whip stitch it, so you could like look up different stitches. If you know how to do it a certain way, you can do it that way. I go back and forth. So I go from the side that I'm on, and you're going to go stitch for stitch. That's why it's important that you end with the same amount of stitches you started with, because you should be able to line up like there's a stitch there, there, the whole way down. And it doesn't matter which direction it's facing as long as it's comfortable for you. Thank you. You're just going to go from the front, which is where you are, into the back. Pull all that yarn through, like so, and then you're going to come back up through the other side. And then over to the other side. Actually, I'm not mattress stitching, I lied. This is whip stitching. It's just like going around, like making a loop like this, around and through. So you're going into the back stitch and up through the front stitch. Down to the back stitch and up through the front stitch. You just keep going the entire way down your pumpkin. Okay, so I'm going to do that the entire way down, and then I'll show you what to do after that. So once you have finished all the way down, sewing it back and forth, you're going to go around the top of your pumpkin, or it could be the bottom, it doesn't really matter. And all you do for that is you are going to just weave your yarn back and forth, like in one side, out the other. And make sure you're pulling it as you go, or else it'll kind of get all bunched up. But it's just in and out the whole way around, and try to go like twice a row pretty much. Like you can see, like there's a row, so I'm going to go in and out, and then there's the next row, so I'm going to go in and out. There's not really a definite spot that you have to hit when you're doing this. Just make sure you're staying along the edge. You don't want to like come down in here to do it. And what's going to happen, like every few inches, you're going to take it and you're going to bunch it up. Okay? And you're going to do that the whole way around. So just try to go in and out on each one of these rows. The whole way around, and then every few inches, like maybe if you do like I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 8 rows or so. Then you're going to want to hold there and bunch it up. And you just want to do that frequently so you don't accidentally like mess up way back somewhere and it won't bunch up for you. So just continue that the whole way around then. Okay, so I have finished going the whole way around, and you bunch it all the way up. And by the way, if you ever wanted to make a hat, you just did. That's all you have to do to make a hat, is go back and forth a million times, and then make sure it's long enough to go around your head, and then bunch up the top, put a cute little pom-pom on the top, and you're done. So to close this up all the way, because there's like still a hole there, you're gonna pull it as much as you can. Don't pull too hard because you will break your string and have to start over again with tying up the top. You are just going to start, alright, you're going to go back and forth, just like straight across from where your yarn is right now, and then out right next to it. And you'll just do this like 6 times, basically like crossing the top of your pumpkin. This will actually be the bottom of the pumpkin because we're gonna put a stem on the top. Okay, so just back and forth across like this until it is all the way closed up. Okay, then to finally finish it off on the inside, you're just going to find somewhere to like make a knot like this. And I'd probably make like 2 or 3 knots. Just insert your needle and then tie through the big loop that made. And then you'll cut off your yarn. So now one end's closed up. Let me focus again. Okay. Then we're going to stuff this with polyfill, and then we're going to take the rest of our yarn, or if you need to, you can cut another piece of yarn, and we are going to stitch up the top the same way we stitched up the bottom.